Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
Well, we're waiting.
Hello, and welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We are a weekly podcast, and tonight we are talking about movies. I'm your host, John Harris, and tonight I'm joined by three other All-Stars. The first one being Jake Boston.
What a great week in television and media in general this was this week. 20 years ago, the Seinfeld episode The Frogger came out.
Great episode.
And it was also the 200th episode of The Simpsons.
Yep.
Very good. Steve Martin. And then 10 years ago, Grand Theft Auto 4 came out.
Wow.
Yeah. What a day. What a day.
Nice. We got Anthony Borich.
I've got a quick tribute to someone who died.
So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older.
He did die.
Who is this?
I don't know, but he
I
died.
can't pronounce his name, but he died 28 years old.
Oh, it's that guy?
Pancreatic cancer.
I knew that guy. Like DJ AV or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I didn't know he made that song.
Yeah.
All right, Brent, bring us back from that sad note. Brent Harris. Here. Fuck. That was a good one.
Rest in peace, AV.
We went from
What
movie.
a terrible way to remember him.
We went from Entertainment Week
Shouldn't have had a drink before he started.
to Death Tribute to farting noise from Brent Harris.
A typical bathroom experience for the Brent.
That might have been.
Fat girl laying on the bed.
That might
I'd also like to give a tribute to that woman's panties.
Chipotle.
This might be our worst intro ever. I'm so sorry. We got a great episode for you tonight. We're continuing with the Road to Infinity War Phase 3, sort of. As we are almost done with the Phase 3 movies, we got, 6 or 7 movies to go over tonight?
6. Well, 5.5.
5.5, yeah. So this is the conclusion of what has been almost a 3-month process of going over Phase 1, Phase 2, and what's left. What isn't so far in Phase 3.
Yeah, we're finally done. We don't have to watch any more Marvel movies until Infinity War.
which is next week.
It's been fun.
Like less than a week now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I'd say, 70% good going back to these movies.
Yeah, for the most part, I always like marathoning movies, and I didn't think I would ever marathon like all Marvel movies.
It's a lot.
There's 18 of them. It's
a
fucking
lot.
crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm done. I'm glad I did it.
So this episode is going to work is we're going to go over the Marvel Phase 3 movies. We'll tell you what those movies are. We're going to go into re-ranking all the Marvel movies that have been released so far up to Black Panther, and there's 18 to cover.
Yeah, we went through like 2 phases, and none of us are happy with the list so far.
Yep, it's not going to get any better today.
No, it's going to
Just
be
2 of
madhouse.
you are unhappy with the list. I think it's all right.
And then we'll be going over what we want and our expectations for Infinity War, as that'll be our next podcast. And then, as always, we'll end with some trivia. But let's go ahead and jump into the main subject. Jake, would you list off what movies so far are in Marvel Phase 3?
Yeah, the rest of the movies that we haven't covered in Marvel Phase 3 are Captain America, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther.
Before we dive into our first movie, just to cover some homework real quick, we ended Marvel Phase 1 with an overall score of those movies being about a 3. Just average, good movies, good start. Roll of Phase 2, the exact same. We thought it was good, average. The highlights being Guardians there in Marvel Phase 2, and Iron Man being the highlight in Marvel Phase 1. So we definitely have our favorites and our picks there. And to start this off, we actually start with Captain America, Civil War, 2016.
Oh my God.
Good movie.
The budget for Captain America Civil War, $250 million. So $250 million on this bad boy. But it made bank too. The box office was $1.13 billion.
God damn.
It made some money.
Jesus.
This was our probably the first test of multiple superheroes on screen. This was a big selling point for this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Did this have more than? It had more than the original Avengers. Did it have more than Age of Ultron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
It's pretty much the
had
same people.
The part where they're all running at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is a big undertaking. This was the Russo brothers before they got directing this new Infinity War trailer movie. It's only been 2 years since this movie really came out, and I really enjoyed the first time I watched this movie. I have some thoughts now, but how are you guys feeling about this movie now?
When I first walked out of the theater watching this, I was a little underwhelmed. Like, I had so much hype that it didn't live up to my expectations. I really think, like, doing the marathon for this and watching every single Marvel movie, this movie kicks ass. This movie is amazing.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun to go back and watch. I liked it in theaters, but I think I like it even more after. You're right. After watching all of these and seeing what it actually leads up to.
Yeah, this is like the culmination of like everything Marvel is, and that's why I'm very excited for Infinity War, because the Russo brothers like kicked this out of the park. Like, I can't wait to see what they do with even more characters.
As far as balancing and pacing that many characters, the Russo brothers nailed it. It's a lot to work with.
It's a fucking feat, and they did it.
Because you got a lot of fans who could be particular fans of a certain superhero, and you're having to balance all those facts into a movie, which is actually a Captain America movie, which prompts my first question. After watching it again, do you guys feel like it was a worthy conclusion to what we're supposed to believe is the Captain America trilogy?
Yeah, very much so. I think so
too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good way to kind of end the Captain America, but also kind of make it the Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, because when you come to the Avengers, you have to like make sure that everybody has like a part in the storyline. This one doesn't really have that. Like, this one opens up with Cap and Black Widow and Falcon like they were in the second one as a little team trying to beat Crossbones.
Yeah.
It's very fucking cool. Like, this scene could have been ripped out of Cap 2, Winter Soldier, and it's just like planted into this movie and starts off fucking strong.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of cool, obviously, Easter eggs being Ant-Man gets a quick reference, a quick scene. Spider-Man was the big thing for this movie.
Yep.
This was our first look at what ended up being the Spider-Man for Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
That was a trailer bust for this movie. Mm-hmm. And now we know it. Now, after watching Homecoming, going back and seeing Spider-Man in this film, do you guys still appreciate that?
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man was ruined, you knew he was going to be in this movie, but you only saw like the underoos and he's saying like, "What up, guys?" But the rest of the stuff, we didn't know like how he was going to act or anything. So it was still a big surprise when he was on screen.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think it still fits in, and it was a perfect segue into Spider-Man Homecoming.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, but we get Black Panther in this too for the first time.
Yep.
Yeah. And we had no idea what that would turn out to be.
Yeah. Well, I was underwhelmed by that the first time. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't know anything about this guy. And I know a lot of people really liked him in this movie. When I first saw it, I didn't. But after seeing Black Panther and coming back to this, so good.
Yep.
Going back and looking at the conflict again, how'd you feel about Tony Stark or Iron Man versus Captain America?
You know, I still have my side where I'm still on Iron Man's team.
Really?
I don't know. I've never been a big Cap fan, and I feel like him trying to be the rebel and starting his own alliance. I don't know. I've never been on his side.
The best thing about this movie is that I can see how both of them think they're right. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning, I was on Cap's team, but then sometime in the middle, I was seeing where Tony Stark was right. But then at the end, where like the government actually like stepped in like too much, you could see why Cap did what he did.
Yeah.
This movie is amazing just because of like how much it pulls off, and it's smart, and it's just like a popcorn blockbuster.
Yeah,
so good.
I like how it's kind of role reversal as well, because what the Tony Stark or Iron Man plays the spot that you would assume Captain America would fill.
Yeah,
and then vice versa. Like Captain America is the rebel, where you assume Tony Stark has been doing that. So
yeah, I think one of the best things about this movie is the bad guy or the antagonist that we're led to believe is the movie wants to trick you into believing he's some kind of superpower. He's ended up just being this individual who's been hurt by the Avengers. His family's gone. And his only goal was for them to tear each other apart. Because if you guys remember, we're led to believe that there's more Winter Soldiers.
Yeah.
And his goal is to release them upon the world and do damage. But it ends up, he just wants to kill them. And he wants Captain America and Iron Man to fight.
Yeah, he doesn't want like the world to be hurt in any way. He just wants like this massive supergroup to break up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of the final scenes, when Black Panther walks up to the guy, the villain, he says, "Revenge has consumed you, but it will not consume me."
Yeah, where he tries to kill himself with a gun.
Yeah.
And then doesn't he just put like his hand in front of the gun to block the bullet?
I think so.
Because vibranium blocks it.
And he says a really sweet line. He's like, "The living are not done with you," because he's trying to kill himself. Like, that part was sweet.
So badass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we just talk about and gush over that airport scene
Yeah.
for a bit?
Yeah, the airport scene's awesome.
It's the best fight sequence that Marvel's ever done so far.
Yeah.
I love every bit of it until the conclusion.
What, when Rhodey crashes?
That part didn't have to happen.
How else would you stop that, though? Just by them getting away?
Yeah.
I don't know. You need like some type of thing to like get all of these emotions and just kind of like grab you in again. Like, oh, okay, none of them want to hurt each other, but somebody accidentally did.
Right.
So there's repercussions for you guys doing this shit.
Well, maybe instead of Ant-Man going into Iron Man suit and pulling stuff, he does that to Rhodey's and pulls like his left thruster out or something, so he has to safely land.
I just think from a fanboy perspective or even a movie's perspective, you have this giant fight, and I think people might have been upset if nobody would have gotten hurt or...
But that was the thing, like the whole fight was like them actually using force, but not really.
Mm-hmm. So this makes more of a kind of like a play fight?
Well, yeah, because they were just trying to stop him. They weren't actually trying to hurt each other.
That's the only thing I'm worried about this fight, looking back at it now. Was there any real consequence?
Rhodey was the consequence. That's
Yeah,
why they did it.
right.
The main thing is that like there are two opposing forces, and all these people are friends, but they still believe in what side they believe in. So they're just kind of trying to stop each other, but not really hurt each other.
I don't think anybody at this table is one, but do you think a Marvel fanboy would want like, no, these heroes from the comics are supposed to be legit angry fighting each other, not friendship fighting?
I don't think so. I think because what they did with this fight was so amazing. Like this is pretty much a comic book put to film. Like this is like the essence of what you want from this, in my opinion. Like there's a lot of big fights that happen in Marvel comics, and none of them have really in film gotten to the point that Civil War did. I get that there are some storylines where like they flat out hate each other and they fight and tooth and claw and all that stuff, but they didn't need it in this one. I don't think so. I think it worked out perfectly.
I think so too.
But yeah, Rhodey just going through physical therapy, I do not care about.
Yeah, that scene was actually kind of cringing because just like, I get having an uplifting tone at the end where Rhodey's gonna be headstrong and get through this recovery, but like that was our Tony Stank comment, and I did not like that. That was one of the lesser cameos.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a Stan Lee cameo right there.
And FedEx driver.
Yeah, it just tried way too hard.
Yeah, I was just like, haha.
As far as plot wise, did the emotional response from Tony Stark at the end make it believable enough for these two to have their final duke out at the end?
Well, I mean, he just didn't care anymore. Like, he was upset that this guy hurt his parents. Not even really his dad, but his mom. He was, like, really upset about.
I was still, after I've seen this movie probably 4 or 5 times now since it came out, I still find the conclusion to the fight, like, it's gonna end in Cap's favor.
The shield part you don't like?
No, I like.
He's like, my dad made that shield. You don't deserve it. That's awesome.
No, I like that part.
Okay, what part don't you like?
I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I kind of want a little more between Captain America and Iron Man, not so much the Winter Soldier.
I don't know. That fight is really cool, too. Just 2-on-1.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the very end, like, it's Iron Man's, like, blasters versus Cap's shield, and just the way it looks so cinematic, and...
Yeah.
Oh, it looks so awesome.
I love the scene where Winter Soldier's about to pull out the core of Tony's suit.
Yeah.
And then just blows his arm off.
Yeah.
I just wish we could have, like, one more scene past that where it's literally just Captain America and Iron Man fully, Iron Man's suit's not damaged, all this good stuff, and it's them going hardcore.
I remember the first time watching this, and Cap gets Iron Man's face off, the whole, like, the faceplate.
Yeah.
And he's got his shield raised. And for a split second, I'm like, is he about to drop this? And I'm like, no, he's not. And then he doesn't. But for a split second, I'm like, is this about to get dark?
That's because it's the Captain America trilogy, and the themes of the whole Captain America trilogy came up at the very end where he's like, I could do this all day, which means Captain America's never going to give up. Like, that's one of his motifs.
Right.
And he's always going to fight for what he believes in.
I have mid-credits and post-credits. The mid-credits for this is Bucky getting frozen in Wakanda, remember, and all that stuff?
Yep.
And then the post-credit is Peter Parker getting his, like, final suit and the projector popping up and everything.
Out of it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and rate Captain America Civil War.
Silver War.
Silver War.
Civil War.
Civil?
Civil.
Civil War.
Silver.
Silver War.
Silver War.
Silver and War.
Yikes. I'll go and kick it off. I gave this one the same thing as Captain America Winter Soldier, a 3.5. Great movie. Definitely above average. I think it's on par with Winter Soldier. Definitely better than the first Avenger. Solid movie.
I agree with you that it's on par with Winter Soldier, which is why I got to give it a 4. This is a good-ass movie.
I thought it was better than Winter Soldier too, so I'm giving it a 4.
Okay. Winter Soldier, I used to think was my favorite movie. MCU movie.
Yeah?
This is now my favorite MCU movie.
Really?
Yeah. It's the best trilogy the Marvel's ever done. I think this is the best action the Marvel's ever done. The way they intertwine all their stories is amazing. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
I fucking love this movie.
Damn.
And it really surprised me how much I loved it. Because I thought I was like John. The first time I watched it, I gave it a 3.5. But really watching all of these Marvel movies and how they just all kind of combine into this.
How they did such a good job of taking it all on.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the next one. That is also Doctor Strange in 2016 as well.
Let's see here. The budget for Doctor Strange is $165 million, which is crazy because there's a lot of visual effects in this.
A lot.
So for them doing it for
But you got,
almost $100 million less than Civil War.
that's besides the CGI for all the like weird graphic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot to the rest of the scenes.
I know, but still, I would think those visual effects would cost money. But
Yeah.
And you're not working with a smaller cast.
yeah. Well, the box office of this did about half of what Civil War did. It did $677 million.
God damn, that's still a lot of money.
That's still a lot, yeah, especially for Doctor Strange.
Right, for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a very popular character within the comics either, but I think he's one of the most interesting because this is the first kind of Marvel's first attempt with interdimension magic is what we're working with here, which has not been really explored in an MCU movie up to this point.
You know what has been explored, though?
What?
Rich people who think they're awesome.
I worked with Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, though.
This is like a cheaper version of Iron Man. This is like Iron Man Light. We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Except lesser.
It kind of yeah. Now that Jake says that, it's actually a lot like Iron Man 1.
It's very
There's
yeah,
different-
except with mystical elements.
Yeah.
There's variables at play.
Better girlfriend like Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, she's definitely better than Gwyneth Paltrow. But
Yes.
in this movie, she does nothing.
I know.
Rachel McAdams is just like, oh, I'm a girl.
I know.
I'm a nurse.
Love me.
I know.
The stakes are much higher compared to Iron Man.
Dormammu.
Dormammu.
Yeah. And we have Mickelson coming in as the bad guy.
Mads Mikkelsen.
I
fucking
love him.
Hannibal.
Yes.
Yep, so good.
Yep.
Bad guy in Casino Royale, bleeding out of his eyeball.
Yep.
Yeah, what is with him and doing stuff to his eyes? Why can't the man just have a normal eyes in a movie?
Nope, that's his shtick. If the third act wasn't as good as what it is, this movie would not be great at all. The third act is very, very impressive, very amazing. The feats that they did with time are just like baffling to me, and I really like that they did it.
I love that too because it totally shows what the time Infinity Stone is.
Yeah.
This
I
is
love
one of
it.
the first movies outside of Thor, the Dark World. We actually see the Infinity Stone in play. Mm-hmm. Like the Tesseract, we got a little bit, and
It's,
then this one we actually get the Time Stone fully in, like being utilized correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. I think this is the first time they actually show a significant amount of usage of the Infinity Stone compared
Other
to the
than
other movies.
Guardians.
And they know what it is too
Yeah,
from the
well,
get-go.
Since we're
Okay.
talking about this, if they know what the Infinity Stone is, why do they just like put it back in like the library of this
Right.
place?
They should like
Why does
lock and key.
Yeah, why doesn't
somewhere.
Doctor Strange just have it?
He does in Ragnarok.
That's true.
Does he?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
around his neck in Ragnarok.
Well, then how does that make any sense at all?
Well, there's
If you put it back in the library at the end of this movie, then he's like, oh yeah, I forgot this is actually mine, so I'm going to keep it because I'm
What?
Doctor Strange.
Who knows? Maybe he takes it out when he goes places.
that he thought he might need it against Loki because he's addressing Loki in Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's true too.
so.
Yeah, they just don't go into it.
Yeah, they really don't.
Okay.
I actually liked Benedict Cumberbatch in this movie.
Oh, Brent loves Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah,
How'd you guys like Benedict connecting with his cape, his signature cape?
that's one of my favorite scenes.
That's like one of the weakest parts in this
What?
movie. Yeah, because this is like the comedy that doesn't belong in this movie. It's just like, oh, this movie needs to be kind of funny. Oh, throw in fucking the carpet from Aladdin, except put it around his...
Okay.
Body.
I remember actually chuckling when it like gets the tear. He's like, "Stop it!" When it keeps getting the tears off his face.
Some parts are good, it just doesn't belong in this movie.
But what else does he have? Like,
Exactly. What else does Doctor Strange have except for a
He needs
cheesy-ass
this.
cape?
He needs this. Don't hate on it.
He
so
doesn't
bad.
need his own movie.
Come on.
Like I didn't think I hated Doctor Strange as much as I did until I rewatched this movie because he's just an asshole, and like he doesn't have a redemption arc in this movie to me at all. He's just like,
Whoa.
oh,
really?
no,
That's how you feel about
well,
it?
besides the Dormammu part where he thinks he's like, oh yeah, I'm smart, I thought of this, but he's still like
Against the planet? Come
That's
on.
redemption.
That's
That's
was-
huge
he was
redemption.
about to
yeah, but then he's
sacri-
like, yeah, I did do this, didn't I? Like he thinks he's like so fucking high and mighty.
which
But
is
he also goes in basically sacrificing himself for
Eternity.
an eternity
Yeah.
of dying,
Yeah,
different
no,
ways.
Like Iron Man 1, this is probably one of the MCU individuals that actually gets character progression, though.
I completely agree with you.
Because Tony Stark gets a huge progression in Iron Man 1.
Yeah, which is well deserved. Like the way that he actually went about doing what he did, I feel like is a big turnaround compared to what Doctor Strange did.
It's a quick turnaround in Iron Man 1 too. With the
Yes.
doctor that saves his life.
When Doctor Strange went through this horrific experience, he just got more and more pissy.
Yeah. And he just like kept disobeying their laws.
And the only way he got better is when he magically found magic, and he's like, "Oh, I'm really good at this too."
But
cool.
That's a difference in plot, though. Does that just mean that's good? That's good though. We want that difference.
He's just a spoiled fuck, and I don't like him. I really don't like him, and he pops up in Thor too. That was my least favorite part in Thor.
Well, then,
I just don't like the character of Doctor Strange. I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, I think you're buying into Marvel's pitch there that you're not supposed to like him at the beginning of the movie.
No, I don't like him at the end either.
Well,
Like he's never
personal problem.
he's never redeemed himself, in my opinion.
Dying for an eternity is one of the most
I
redemptive
know,
things in the
But
MCU.
he knows that he's not going to keep on dying forever. He knows, like,
No.
oh, I've tricked this guy. I'm going to keep on going at this.
He
so you
doesn't
better-
know
He
that.
doesn't.
No, but he's like, you make a deal with me, or we'll do this forever.
And
So
I-
he has a game plan going in.
Yeah, I think he was planning on dying forever. I think
There's
he was,
no way the thought in his head would be like, oh, okay, I'll just die forever. He knew in the back of his head, like, oh, he'll make a deal with me sometime.
No, I totally believe
I
that.
don't think Doctor Strange was going to assume that he was right, and this Dormammu never had met him before was going to accept the fact that he's going to do this for eternity. I think it's 50-50.
I can see Jake's point of view too.
That's what I'm saying. It's 50-50. I'm not saying it's one way or the other.
Do you know what Dormammu should have done to fucking Stephen Strange?
Let's hear
Instead of
this.
just killing him off the bat,
Doctor Strange.
Stephen Strange, Dr. Stephen Strange.
Doctor.
Yeah. He should have fucking tortured him for years upon decades instead of just killing him right off.
Yeah.
Like, if he would have tortured Stephen Strange instead of just killing him every time, that would have been amazing. That would have been more, like, the part in this movie is really cool. I'm just saying Dormammu could have done more to make him suffer more in order to make
but
him, like, go
Dormammu
away.
is more of an egotistical dick than
I guess,
Doctor
yeah.
Strange is.
Yeah,
so
there
he's
you go.
he's like, all right, fuck this, I'm done.
And
I'll just go
Dormammu is
somewhere
like
else.
he's not being patient. He wants Earth right now.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, instead of him using his head, he's just like, die, why won't you die? Okay, deal. Instead of doing anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool enough concept where I'll go about it. Like, I won't nitpick that one too much, but
Yeah.
I thought of that this time watching it.
As far as Mickelson characters go and Dormammu, I think they're some the most threatening MCU villains we've had up to this point.
Think so too.
And then at the very end, the end credits
Oh, yeah,
teaser,
yeah.
didn't like that at all. That came out of nowhere for me. Chiwetel Ejiofor going bad on Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, I think that is hopefully sets up for what will be a Doctor Strange sequel.
Oh, that's what they're definitely going for.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I care.
For me, that leaves me excited to see what else they can do with Doctor Strange, because for me, they did a great job of establishing who this character is and what his relevance is to the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they can keep playing with dimensions, the powers, the evil forces that the rest of the MCU won't deal with,
Yeah.
please go crazy.
Well, yeah,
I want more crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I do
agree.
too. That's the best part in Doctor Strange is all of the crazy mythical stuff.
Right, for sure.
I just don't know if I like the person that's doing it. Like the last third, like when they play with going fast or rewinding or pausing time in that final battle.
Yeah.
Love everything about that.
Yeah.
So cool. And like the Inception shit, it's cool. We've kind of seen it before. Or when like he first sees stuff and like the Ancient One taps him on the head and he flies back and it's so fucking trippy and he's got like hands upon hands on his fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
So fucking cool.
It is cool.
We got Stan Lee.
Oh, we got Stan Lee.
Yep. Where is it? Oh, Stan
He's a
Lee.
bus driver or
Yeah,
bus.
Yeah, this is one of the
passenger.
weaker Stan Lees for me. He's not doing anything. He's on a bus reading a book, and then like something hits the bus, and he's like, "That was hilarious."
What was? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember that now.
Really forgettable.
Yeah, that was
Didn't
bad.
like it. And then I already talked about the end credit scene, but the mid credit scene is pretty much the scene from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, but if you look at the book that he's reading The Doors of Perception.
Nice
It's
little,
kinda funny.
little Easter egg there.
I like it.
All right. That being said, we got to rate Doctor Strange, and going in order, we're going to kick it off with Jake.
This movie, if it didn't have its third act or any of the visuals, this would be like lower third for me. The third act definitely saves it, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.
Nice, Brent.
Yeah, same thing. I'm at 3 out of 5 for this as well.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I thought this was, again, I loved the time jumping. Yeah, I'm solid 3.5. I thought this was very good.
This is actually one of my more favorable MCU movies, and probably one of my top 10 favorites. And this is a 4 for me. Next, though, we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which kicks off 2017.
Yeah, this movie had a box office budget of $200 million, and the total domestic gross was $863 million.
It's a lot.
Made some money. Made like $200 million more than Doctor Strange.
This movie had a lot to live up to.
Yeah, it did.
If you go back and listen to our other podcasts, Guardians of the Galaxy was one of, if not our favorite Marvel
It was
movie.
our favorite.
MCU movie.
Yeah, according to our list, it's our number one.
Yeah, and it was pretty unanimous there.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys feeling about this movie now?
Okay, so you said it right there, right off the bat. This had so much to live up to, and when I left the theater, all I could feel was, man, this just wasn't Volume 1.
I think
It was good,
Mm-hmm.
and if we didn't have Guardians to compare it to, I think I would have liked this movie better. But it was so it missed something for me. I don't know if it was trying too hard, and we'll totally get into this. I don't know if they were just trying to be just as funny. I think without trying to be funny in Guardians is what make Guardians better than Guardians 2 because they were trying so hard.
Well, I just think Guardians 1 was an origin story, so they were all getting to know each other, and now that
Yeah.
they know each other, it's just like, where do you go from here?
Yeah.
You have to try to do something
Yeah.
different and original, and they took a stab at it, and it definitely wasn't as good as the first. I don't think this is a bad movie,
No, I
No.
don't either.
but it's definitely not as good as the first one.
I remember the way they ended Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I was like, obviously it was an amazing movie, and I was so hyped to what they were going to do with his dad.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And then I left this, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's what they did.
Yeah. And like the way they ended this one, talking about like those gold women talking about Adam Warlock.
Right.
I don't really care about that.
Yeah, and what a forgettable race.
Yeah.
Like, it
Oh,
was-
definitely.
Yep.
it was
I
such-
agree.
Just a plot fill.
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie's been kind of a roller coaster for me because I remember leaving the movie theater thinking, no, it's all right. Not what I wanted, exactly what I wanted it to be, but still all right. I watched it a second time thinking, like, man, it got worse for me. Then I just watched it recently again for the podcast, and it got better.
I'm the exact
Okay.
same way.
I agree. It has gotten better since I've watched it.
It just needed time, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, I was exactly like you. First time I saw it in theaters, I was a little disappointed. I watched it again when we did our year in review, and I'm like, wow, this really doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
And then I watched it for a third time, and I'm like, this isn't that bad. I don't know what I was bitching about.
Right. My original complaints, and it's still not a huge complaint now, but it just doesn't hit far as humor-wise, is just the Drax character. I like Drax, but his scenes in particular, they try to play some comedic element with him.
Yeah.
And that doesn't land maybe 80% of the time.
Especially with the Drax in the first movie. Like, he wasn't this slapstick funny.
And not at all.
Yeah.
He never talked about his nipples in the first movie.
Right, he was...
Right.
Right. Man, I'm going to say something that's probably going to spark conversation. I didn't love Baby Groot as much as everyone else did in the world. Like, I thought he tried too hard. Like, you fell in love with
Groot.
I am Groot. Mm-hmm. Someone who can only say 3 things. But little Groot can only say that too, but he's also, like, dancing around during the title sequence.
Well,
He's-
that's an
Yeah.
awesome part.
Yeah.
The title sequence is amazing.
Okay, the title sequence is, but I could live without him dancing around.
It's a little...
yeah,
it's-
but like the scene where Rocket and Yondu are chained or in prison, and
That's so sad.
And him,
and
but
then
him
Groot-
coming back and forth with all the little different
You
things.
thought that was stupid?
I liked that.
I love that.
Like, it made me so sad when he was getting, like, trounced in beer
Yeah.
and getting, like, kicked around and
Yeah.
shit, and then he just walks in the hallway all, like, Charlie Brown, like,
I know,
Yeah.
but I don't want. I want the guy who does one arm and
Yeah,
does
I know.
another arm and just
But
fucking kills like
as-
12 people and then looks around and does the.
well,
but
Yeah.
was the gun that said like this is a different Groot?
yeah, this isn't the
Well,
same
yeah, he's
Groot.
dead. The original Groot's dead, and now
Yeah.
from his ashes, this little baby Groot's there.
I don't know. I like how, like, him and Drax, like, don't like each other at all. Or at least Baby Groot does not like Drax at all. Like, he'll just
Yeah.
go up to him and start, like, hitting him and stuff. I really like that. But then at the end, like, he goes to him to, like, just cradle him. Like,
Right.
oh, hold me, pretty much. I
thought
don't know.
the-
I liked it.
I like the intro, but I think the term I would use for the intro is campy. Like, it's trying to be over the top cute.
Yeah.
Right.
The intro's cool. It just seems like a fight that doesn't need to be there. Like, they're fighting for crystals as a MacGuffin to, like, move the plot along.
Yeah.
Just kinda weird.
As far as opening credits go, it's one of the better opening credits that they played with.
I think so too.
It's also, Guardians is known for the soundtrack, and that's a good way to kick off a movie with a good song, and a little bit of Groot dancing.
Yeah, I remember being equally impressed. as for that opening as I was for Guardians of the Galaxy that opening scene.
Same with soundtrack. I think they still hit it on the head with the soundtrack that they were.
I think the first one was just a tad bit better.
I do. I'm not gonna fight with you on that. I think that too, but I think they still hit some good oldies.
This one has
Yeah.
some deep cuts compared to the first one. The first one, before going in, I probably heard like 80 to 85%. This one, I haven't even heard of half of them. So, which is nice because all the songs that played on here I liked.
Yeah.
Let's get to the main point of polite conversation here. Is what was teased in Guardians 1 was his origin, Star-Lord's father, and that comes full-fleshed here. How did watching again this time, did the ego and was it Kurt Russell?
Yep.
How did that feel this time around?
Kurt Russell's a great actor, and I like his story. But I don't know, something about him turning out to be the evil guy in the end. It seems a little predictable.
I really liked it this time.
I kind of like the twist.
Knowing his power and what's really at stake here. Like I feel like the stakes are really set, and Guardians and James Gunn keeps it close enough to the main emotional story going on here that it just comes to a really good conclusion for me this time around. And I like just the play on, like, the mother was very important in the first one. The mother's still important in this one.
Yep.
Yeah. Like he gets out of the trance when he finds out that Ego killed his mom by putting a tumor in her.
Yeah, like that scene I compared to, I don't think it's as effective or emotional tugging, but it's the same scene that is the hand scene in Guardians 1.
Yeah,
Where you take my hand.
Yeah.
That scene gives me chills. This one really didn't. This is just like, oh, fuck.
I
Like,
don't
that's
know.
a big reveal.
I had a more intense feeling in this one
Really?
with Yondu.
oh,
in his
that
story.
death?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I don't know. In the first one, I feel like his arc from the first movie to the second movie wasn't really earned. I just feel like they needed like I don't know, they just needed a way to end this movie, and they're like, oh yeah, let's just end on a sad note, but it's still kind of like heartwarming. I liked it. I just don't know if the two really mesh that well. I mean, they try as hard as they can, but when I watched the first movie, even knowing that like that was his dad and he didn't want to sell him to get traded and to his dad, his real dad,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if I still bought it or
They
not.
kind of did the same thing again. So like Groot dies in the first one, but then you're kind of redeemed because his twig is stuck in a soil and you see him start dancing.
Around.
Yeah.
And then with this, you don't get the kind of same thing, but Yondu dies and it's really dramatic. But then he gets kind of redemption because all of his Raider buddies show up and then
And they
respect
give him
again.
a
right.
proper funeral.
Avenger's
so-
funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sly Stallone gives him a proper funeral. That's fucking awesome that he's in this.
Yeah.
One other thing we talked about, we already kind of mentioned this earlier, was Jake, you obviously are a fan of practical fights.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of animate to hell if you want,
Oh, I know what you're going.
but I love the celestial fight between him and his father in this one.
I do too.
I think, it's inside of a planet core, and you have two essentially gods by MCU standards duking it out.
You know what part I really didn't like? This fight was okay. Like I remember it bothering me a lot the first time I saw it. This time not so much, but the same part still bothered me. The very like not the ending.
Pac-Man?
The fucking Pac-Man. The Pac-Man versus Giant Fist
I
really
remember
pissed
how-
me off.
It
It's his
pissed
whole
you off
body.
because of pixels?
Well, no, it didn't piss me off because of pixels. He just said it like randomly about the whole Pac-Man thing, and then he's the only thing he can think of to beat a giant fist is a Pac-Man. Fucking stupid.
Oh, that was a nice little humor thing, just like another 80s
From the
reference.
80s. You're right. That's another reference.
You know what would have been
That's all
funnier
I
is
noticed.
if the fist was coming in and his was like another hand, but it was paper, and like playing rock paper scissors.
And this was our, wasn't the Stan Lee with some kind of
The Watchers.
the Watchers? That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yep.
Really fucking cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah.
Because not only does this make all of his other cameos like worth it, because the Watchers look over all of the MCU.
Right.
So it's just really cool that they decided to put Stan Lee as part of those. Like he's telling stories to the Watchers, but he's up there with them.
Right.
It's just
They're
a,
annoyed by him.
yeah, it's a cool touch though. That's probably one of my favorite Stan Lee
Really?
cameos for
Those-
sure.
I think so too.
What was our NC credits here?
There's
Yeah,
so many.
This one had a lot.
Yeah, one of them had Sean Gunn, the guy who was the sidekick to Yondu.
Yep.
He was practicing with Yondu's arrow, and he hits Drax, and Drax is just like yelling
Yeah.
in pain, and he just kind of runs
I
away.
remember that.
There's another one with Sylvester Stallone and all the Ravagers assembling, so there's kind of maybe like a spin-off in the working there.
Yep.
There's one where all the gold people are talking about Adam Warlock, and then the other mid-scene credit was Teenage Groot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which the only spoiler toy thing is that Teenage Groot is in Avengers Infinity War.
Yep.
if we have to rate Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 now, that falls to Brent first with his star rating.
There's a lot of hit and miss in here. So this falls at a 3 for me.
Okay. Interesting.
3. Wow. I really like this one. I'm going to give it a 4.
Gotcha.
Not as good as the original, but it still hit everything. Russell Crowe still hit it as a villain.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. Sorry. Yeah.
If you would have asked me at the end of last year when we did our movie review for 2017, I probably would have given us a 3. But after watching it again, I'm feeling so much better about it. I'm going to go with a 4. I enjoyed things.
Damn, full star upgrade.
Yeah.
Very good.
Things just felt a lot better this time around.
Okay. I would have gave it a 3 last year too, but after watching it again, like there's some jokes that don't work, like the whole taser face thing I don't care about.
Right.
Like that got itself played out.
Yeah.
But there are more scenes that worked for me this time than did like the first 2 times.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice. Nice little upgrade.
Yeah.
But jumping ahead further in 2017, we have Spider-Man Homecoming coming in.
We sure do. The budget for this one was very tiny, 175 million.
That's tiny for MCU.
Yeah, I know. The budget or the box office was not tiny at all. This made $880 million.
Woo!
This fucking cleaned up.
And it needed to, because Spider-Man needed a comeback
Redemption
from
the first 2 turds it made.
from,
Yeah.
from the Andrew Garfield days.
And I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying it totally made a comeback. This movie's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
prefer,
definitely.
This one's much better than the Amazing Spider-Man's.
Yeah, not even close.
But what a great entrance from Captain America's Civil War. Like, we were so pumped for this movie to come out that it needed to live up to that.
Well, the way this movie starts out is it's such a good idea. You get introduced to the villain and you
Yeah.
make the villain sympathetic.
Yeah.
Because he's putting all of his like life savings into cleaning up this tech that all the Avengers fight. Like this is damage control pretty much.
Right.
But then Tony Stark makes his own crew to clean up all the shit and it makes a villain.
Right.
It's so cool.
And we get the Vulture. That's what we end up getting. And
Oh, God, he was great.
yeah, the Vulture ended up being a really cool character considering what Spider-Man villains we've seen up to this point. He probably isn't my favorite Spider-Man character. Like, I mean, for me, Doc Ock takes the king. He's the king there.
This is really close though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
damn close. And I actually liked one of the best things about this villain is the twist that we get about 75% into this movie where we find out he's the dad
Yep.
of
I was
Peter's
just about
date.
to say, he has the best twist of anyone.
Yeah, that was a nice, like, it wasn't probably meant to be a huge shocker, but it was a nice shock in the theater.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the theater and hearing a lot of gasps.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't see this coming at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think Spider-Man, you think small. Everything's pretty much, it's all based around Peter Parker's personal experiences.
Yeah.
So great way to tie it back to Peter.
Also like the small part to Donald Glover.
Really good in this.
Yeah.
And he does nothing really, but
Right.
he
It's-
has a presence from his little bit role.
And I like that they use the Shocker. They kind of make the small little origin story of the Shocker as well.
Yeah, the Shocker where it's just like, oh, this guy died, now you're the Shocker.
Yeah.
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 It's funny because who gives a fuck about the Shocker?
Yeah.
How did the high school feel come this time around compared to maybe other Spider-Mans or just the,
So much better.
the
Yeah,
sense of the
I was just
homecoming
about
It
to
feeling?
actually
say.
felt like a high school kid in high school, not Tobey Maguire, like a 30-year-old in high school.
Uh-huh.
Like,
No, I actually liked the high school setting. I liked the whole homecoming dance being like the plot driving the background scene here. And I like the twist. What is supposed to be like a play upon MJ, which ends up being like a little bit twist at the end there.
Yep.
Even though the director said like this isn't necessarily MJ.
But it's definitely a reference to MJ.
I would.
yeah.
This better be MJ. You know,
Yeah.
like I hope they don't actually put a Mary Jane in here.
Right. It's like, I don't know, it's different enough compared. They need to change things up. And they did it just enough for a new audience to come and like Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I love how Peter Parker like he just wants to be a superhero. He doesn't care about high school.
Yeah,
You know, that's such a teenage thing to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
How much did Tony Stark carry this movie?
I don't think a lot. I think he was in it just enough.
I think so too.
Yeah?
I think it was just enough.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense from what Tony Stark has done. Like, he wants to be a good father like his dad really was, and he wants to be present. He wants to help lead somebody into greatness,
yeah.
and that's what happens here.
The one thing I really wanted Spider-Man to save the boat. I was cool to see Iron Man show up, but at the same time, like I really wanted him to be the one to save the boat.
Well, the thing is, he almost does. Like, he gets 98% of the boat,
Yeah.
right? But it doesn't like hold it all the
That
way.
small crack ruins it.
I mean, that's just like your superhero in training stuff. Like, you need to fuck up a few times.
Right. However, it needed Iron Man in this movie.
Oh no, it definitely did. I just wish it was kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
It would have been way better.
This is our first Spider-Man that we get like tech with compared to other Spider-Mans. Like he gets a full-fledged AI in his suit.
Yeah,
It gets unlocked. That was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah, training wheels.
Yeah.
And probably one of my favorite scenes is the monument scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That scene's amazing.
this movie's awesome. Like I don't really
It
have a
is
lot of
awesome.
bad things
No,
to
I
say
don't
about
either.
it.
Plus, the cherry on top is Marissa Tomei as
Aunt May.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
For me, the cherry on top is the tease of the new Spider-Man suit.
The
Yeah.
Iron Spider.
Yeah, I like that tease.
I do too.
I thought the suit looked okay. I liked his old suit better than the Iron Spider suit.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean. It looked cool, but like honestly, wouldn't that just slow him down?
Tony Stark's not gonna make a suit that's gonna
That's true.
hurt him
No,
or
I don't
weaken
think
his
so
abilities
either.
to be fast.
I know. I like the original.
And like the ending is it's a nice place for that movie to settle with him being, I want to be the little guy, or I want to stick up for the little guy, going back to Brooklyn and all that. And that's where we get our Stan Lee cameo is in Brooklyn, isn't it?
Well, yeah, when there's an alarm going off because he thinks the guy's breaking into a different car, but he's breaking into his own car.
Right.
Stanley's like one of the people in the apartment's like, yeah, why's the alarm going off? Get out of here, Spider-Man. And he talks to an older lady across the street.
Yeah.
It was an okay cameo.
Yeah, that's okay. And then we got a nice, what was our ending credits here was a nice twist to,
Let's see. Spider-Man will be back.
Yeah, mid-credits shows Vulture meeting the other guy in prison.
Yeah.
Saying like, oh, word on the street is you know who Peter Parker is. Or you know who Spider-Man is. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
exactly.
And just kind of walks on his way.
Yeah, and that's kind of nice. It's played off perfectly. So you're like, all right, is he actually not really mad at Peter, or is he kind of saving Peter for himself?
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the after credits kind of makes fun of the whole waiting after credits. It's Captain America talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
patience and
Yeah.
how disappointing waiting through all of this can be.
Yeah.
That's right.
I thought
As
that was
the like
fun.
instructional.
It's really
Yeah.
good. Which is pretty much like a Ferris Bueller callback,
Right.
which they do a couple times
Yeah.
in this.
All right, that means that we need to rate Spider-Man Homecoming. And this time it's going to be thrown back to me.
No,
I think it's my turn.
It's Anthony.
Oh, yeah, Anthony. You kick it off.
4.5. I loved this movie.
What?
Yep.
Really?
Favorite Spider-Man yet.
That's easy.
Yep.
Yep, I think so too. By a long shot. Why? Do you still like Tobey Maguire, John?
Of course he does.
I like Spider-Man 2 better.
He just likes the
You like Spider-Man 2 better than this?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No.
He just
way.
likes
No.
the
No
climaxing
way.
scene on the front.
I'm shitting my pants. My asshole's
He
tearing
likes
in
Spider-Man
two.
3 when he's dancing.
You guys think Spider-Man Homecoming is better than Spider-Man 2?
I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I wouldn't say
Yeah.
hands down, but I would say yes.
Like Mary or what's her face that plays Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 brings that movie down.
Kirsten Dunst?
Yes.
Spider-Man 2 is so much more grounded in Peter Parker and Spider-Man's story than Homecoming will ever be, in my personal opinion. Spider-Man Homecoming was a 3.5 for me. It hit some good notes. Wasn't my favorite MCU movie, but definitely a solid Spider-Man story and good within the realm of the MCU.
I really thought about giving it a 4.5. Like, I really did. But I think I'm just going to give it a 4. It's really solid. It's really fun. I could definitely pop this movie in at any time and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I like other MCU movies better than this one, so I'm going to keep it at a 4. Like, this is definitely 4 territory for me. I gave Guardians 1 a 4. I think this is on par with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much spot on what you just said. I'm a 4 as well.
All right, our next two movies we won't spend too much time on. Each have their own podcast, so if you hear our extended thoughts on these movies, we'll discuss a little bit and to see how these movies feel now. First one being particular would be Thor Ragnarok.
The budget for this one was $180 million, and after everything was said and done, the box office worldwide was $854 million. So that's weird. All 3 movies that came out in 2017 from Marvel made pretty much the exact same amount of money.
Yeah.
Guardians made 863, Spider-Man made 880, this one made 854.
And that's saying a lot for Thor in particular, because Thor, up to Ragnarok, has not been. It was established at this point not being one of the favorite movies.
Right.
Oh, definitely not. And his movies suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the consensus with Marvel fans up
Like,
to this point.
When I watch this movie, I just feel like, oh, okay, 1 and 2 were okay, and people like Thor and Loki, but they don't like the seriousness. What can we do? Oh, let's try to make it like Guardians.
Yeah.
Except not as funny. Like, they try to do super slapstick humor in this, and a lot of it falls flat for me.
In Ragnarok?
Yeah.
I was going to say, from Phase 2, you mentioned how you loved Winter Soldier was just a fun ride.
Yeah.
That's Ragnarok for me.
And no, I can totally see that. I know a lot of people felt
It
that
is
way.
fun.
Ragnarok is just a fun ride.
It's nothing but fun though. There's like no like it's all there's not a lot there. It's just like, oh hey, here's Thor going through some crazy shit.
The MCU plot points that have to be made for the MCU are made for progression's sake, like the
Asgard blowing up?
Asgard being destroyed,
Like, oh, I guess we have to do this.
Loki
Yeah.
getting the Tesseract.
That's how it felt. Like if you're blowing up a fucking world that you've known about for what 6-7 years,
Yeah,
and when it happens, I didn't feel anything. I was like, oh, fucking Asgard blew up.
and I think the director knew that, and he played with it.
Yeah,
Well, that's the whole point between Thor and Odin. He's like, Asgard isn't a place; it's where we house our homes, essentially.
It's the people.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's a cool line. I like the way they go with that. And that might be why blowing up Asgard didn't do much for me. I
And
guess I could
having
see that.
having the fire guy come back at the end to destroy it was a nice tease. To beginning why was that character there in the first place?
Right.
Hela, Kate Blanchett, still holds up for me as a villain.
She's the only female villain, like main villain the MCU's ever had.
She was a fun villain.
And she's a badass.
She's awesome in this.
She was a very fun villain.
Like, that when we first recorded the podcast for Thor Ragnarok, I was really hung up on them just dismissing the first two movies. Watching it again, I actually enjoyed it.
Still going from the ending of the Dark World into the beginning of Ragnarok with Loki, that still bothers me.
Does it?
Yeah. I still don't like it how it's just like played for laughs, even though at the end of the second movie in Dark World, he's like, oh, I'm on the throne, I'm going to ruin some shit.
Yeah, that remotely bothered me this time.
And in this one, it's just like, oh, yeah, I have a play. Here's what happened in the first two Thor movies if you didn't see them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like it too much at all. Like, I liked the Matt Damon part, and I liked the guy from Jurassic Park, Sam Neill part, but yeah.
I wish I hated Jeff Goldblum, but I love him.
In this movie?
He's one of the better parts in this, for sure.
He's funny.
We're going to go over this with our original scores and kind of see how we feel about it now if we stick with the same.
That makes sense.
And I'll kick it off. I originally gave this movie a 3.5. And I'm still pretty confident with that rating. If I had to re-rate it again, I really, really enjoyed it the second time around. I'm debate bumping up to a 4, but I'd probably stick with a 3.5. It's just fun.
I listened to the podcast that we did just to get a refresher on this and our reviews and everything.
Yeah.
And that was a point that both you and I made. I thought when I watched this again, the replay value of this would not be great. And you thought, oh, a rewatch will definitely go up for me.
Yeah.
And this, like, I'm exactly the same. I gave a 3 the first time on the review. I'm a 3 again.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 3.5 originally, and I haven't watched it again, but I'm kind of scared to because I feel like it'll drop to a 3 because the humor won't be as funny to me, and then it'll drop half a star just because it's.
The only thing that I found constantly funny in this movie was Korg. Like, he's still funny.
Yeah.
That guy's
funny.
Yeah.
The rest of it, like, there are some parts that I found really funny the first time that I just knew the joke this time, and I'm like, it's not as funny.
Yeah.
I give it a 3.5 the first time, and I still feel the same as I did the first time. Had we gotten so much more on, like, the Valkyrie backstory, I would have probably bumped this up to a 4.
Yeah. And the second that they didn't take advantage of that is what dropped it for me. Mm-hmm. All the Valkyrie stuff was cool, and like the first 10 minutes I wanted more of. Like I said in the first one, like that stuff is pretty much out of like a heavy metal cartoon.
Yes.
All the stuff with the Ragnarok guy, whatever, the fire demon.
Yep.
All that stuff was really fucking cool. And then they also did stuff with like Hela and Valkyrie and that oil paintings.
Yeah.
That look. That was awesome. I wanted like a couple more scenes of that too.
Yeah, I like the scene. I mean, I think the CGI Thor is pretty much heavily based on CGI.
Yeah.
And this is the best, the CGI that watching it now in 4K, Blu-ray, whatever format you watch it, still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
This movie pops with color.
It does.
And Hulk fighting the wolf looked great. Thor getting his lightning powers and fighting on the bridge looked
That was cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that fleshed out more, hopefully. Say what you will about them dismissing the old Thor movies, but a nice little touch to Odin just going away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I did call in that podcast that I'm pretty sure that Thor and all of his people will meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. In the first trailer, they do.
Yeah, but I don't know if his people do. I think it's just Thor.
It might just be Thor. And for some reason, Hulk is not with them in Infinity War. Like, he's down in... Do you want to know, Brent? Do you know?
No.
Okay, he's down somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's not with them.
Yeah.
And the way the mid-credit scene for this one is them meeting Thanos' ship.
Right.
And we have no idea how that's going to fucking go.
Yeah. Or the Stan Lee for this one. It's fresh in my mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
the haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little much.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it kind of makes sense because everybody knows Thor as like long flowing locks.
Right.
So if you're gonna change the way he looks, you might as well get the guy who created him to change the way he looks.
Right.
Makes sense.
Our next movie, we're not going to spend too much time at all.
Yeah, last movie.
Yeah. Black Panther came out 2018 February, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's still in theaters, so we're not able to do anything with it.
Yeah,
really.
we haven't got a chance to rewatch it, but we will list our scores, what we gave at the time.
Yeah, well, I have the budget and box office for this one too.
Oh, yeah, please.
Because
elaborate.
holy fuck, did this like break every record ever?
Right.
The budget for this movie was $200 million. The box office, it's still fucking going, but for right now, it's $1.31 billion.
Yikes.
Like domestically, domestically, it's the third highest grossing movie ever.
Right.
The only two above it are Force Awakens and Avatar.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Like Black Panther of all movies to do this, it's
Just
nuts.
crushed it. Mm-hmm. We'll just go over our ratings real quick. I gave Black Panther a 3.5. And
You say Black Panther?
Black Panther.
Yeah, I'm the same, 3.5. People were freaking out about this movie. I think it's just like your above average origin movie.
Yeah.
From what I remember. So yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, not the best, but slightly ahead of the middle of the pack. So, yep, 3.5.
Mine was a 3.5 as well, and I think a lot of it has to deal with the villain.
Yeah. All right, before we jump into our next section, let's just go over our overall thoughts for Phase 3 so far. Comparisons to 1 and 2, I think it's better.
Oh, yeah.
I do too.
I do too.
It's
look
definitely better.
If you would have asked me at the beginning of this little experiment that we're doing, Phase 3 was the best one, I would have said no way in hell.
Right.
But yeah, I think this is way better than Phases 1 and 2.
It's better mainly because it doesn't have any clunkers.
Yeah, definitely. What, Phase 1 had Incredible Hulk. Phase 2 had Thor 2.
Right.
Yep.
And Iron Man 3.
Yeah, it's got, it's amazing
Ultron.
movies. And then
Yeah.
it's got, kind of the middle to the better of the pack of the movies. And it doesn't have anything that, like, really brings it back down.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that Civil War and Spider-Man Homecoming are in my top 5.
But what Phase 3 has going for it compared to the other two, especially, is that we've had so much time with these characters developed.
Oh, yeah.
And we get to see them fully fleshed out in these third iteration of them. And I think that definitely helps this Marvel universe in general. If we had to give a star rating, this Phase 3 is not complete. There's still
When does it end?
with Ant-Man and the Wasp. But yeah, if we had to give a pretty much a review in progress with an IGN term there.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this once we see Infinity War, but
Yeah.
right now,
I feel like it goes up to a 3.5.
that's exactly where I'm at, 3.5.
Yeah.
I think Infinity War is going to blow it to a 4, but I'm okay with 3.5
I think
right
so
now.
too.
Yep.
I completely agree with you, John. And for that, I'll save it as 3.5.
Well, good job, guys. We all agree on something.
Da, 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 da. All right, let's jump to the next portion of our show, and that is going with the Road to Infinity War miniseries here that we've been doing. We've been re-ranking Marvel movies with every phase, with addition to our ongoing list here. To recap how our list finished last time, Jake, you want to kick that off?
Yeah, the way it worked out so far, number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy, number 2 is Iron Man, number 3 is Captain America the First Avenger, number 4 is Captain America the Winter Soldier. How did that happen? Number 5 is The Avengers, number 6 is The Avengers Age of Ultron, number 7 is Thor, number 8 Iron Man 2, number 9 Iron Man 3, number 10 Ant-Man, number 11 Thor the Dark World, and number 12 Incredible Fuck.
And it makes me even feel better about our 3.5 rating because we're about to shove a lot of this lower second half even further down.
So we got 6 movies to add here as of now. And I think we're going to go with like we did last time. We're going to go with the order that these movies came out and where they fit in this list. Starting with Captain America Civil War.
I'm just putting it right there. This better be at least top 3.
I'm okay with it going below Iron Man.
Yeah, I think
That's
it needs
crazy.
to be under Iron Man too.
That's crazy.
I'm okay with it.
Oh, fucking Jesus. Okay,
number
so
4.
So right now we have all 3 Captain America movies at 3, 4, and 5 then. Is that what we're doing?
That's amazing. It's the best trilogy.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier should be above First Avenger.
I agree.
Nope. That's
okay.
that's how we did it.
Unfortunately, that's not how it's going to work out.
Oh my
so.
god. Does anybody have a pen? Or should I just do this on my phone?
Got to do it on your phone there, bud.
Okay.
All right, next we got to jump to Doctor Strange. I'm going to get denied here, so I'll just go ahead and throw my vote.
Nope. Veto. Don't even give your opinion because we're about to get.
I'd put Doctor Strange at number 5.
Ew.
No fucking way.
Wait. So above Avengers?
Yeah.
No.
No way.
No.
That's why I threw it out there first.
Yeah.
I'll have you guys go first.
I'll say. Actually, not too far. I'll say below Avengers. I think it's better. It might be worse than Age of Ultron.
I think it's better than Ultron.
It's better than Thor,
It is
Oh,
way
yeah.
better than
but
Thor.
it's
Yeah.
not better than Ultron.
It's either.
Okay.
It's either
number 7.
It fits in at number 7. That's easy.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm not going to win that fight.
7.
so
Doctor Strange.
All right, jumped into our next movie. Is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
That's where it gets a little tough.
Yeah, it is.
I would personally say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is in between both Avenger movies.
I agree.
It's
I
not as
was
good
just
as
about to totally agree with you.
not as good as the first, but better than the second.
I think it's better than Winter Soldier.
I think you're outvoted again because all three of us are on the same page right now.
Are we all on the same page?
yeah.
All three of us are. You're
okay.
not.
Okay.
Okay, so that would make it number 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 6 is Guardians 2. This is going pretty fast.
All right, I'll start with her Spider-Man then, because I would put this as number 3. I think
Spider-Man
it's better
Homecoming is number 3.
better than First Avenger.
Ick. Well, that would kick out Civil War, and
So,
I ain't having that.
So you'd go Spider-Man
Oh, sorry,
Homecoming.
number 4.
Okay.
Right under Civil War.
Okay.
Oh, this is getting gross.
Yeah, as a as a collective unit, I might have to agree with that, even though I don't. I would probably, honestly, I'd probably put that below Winter Soldier, but I don't think I'm going to win that fight.
I want it to be below Winter Soldier, but above First Avenger.
Yeah, I know. That's why this list makes no fucking sense right now.
I think.
Can we come to a conclusive agreement that Winter Soldier is better than First Avenger?
Nope, I will never agree with it.
I won't agree with that.
They're doing it as a spite now.
Yeah, I know they are.
Traditions.
No,
Can't
John's against me on this one, so that's how you know this.
Okay, if you fucks are going to be like that, it's going to go below Winter Soldier at number 5.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, or number 6, I guess.
I think Spider-Man. I think Homecoming should be between the First Avenger and Winter Soldier.
I don't think so. I think it should be.
I'll agree with that.
Okay, so it's 2 and 2. What do we do? Do we coin flip again?
Brand,
That's what we did last
are
time.
you stuck?
You know it's a better movie than that. You loved this movie.
Better than Winter Soldier?
Yes.
I don't think so at all. They're close, but I don't think so.
Can they be even?
No.
No.
Like I said, I want this to be worse than Winter Soldier. So I have to agree with Jake because I think it's less than Winter Soldier.
We're coin
Coin flip
flipping.
it
We're
is.
coin
Coin flip.
flipping.
We won this last time, Brent.
Heads or tails, boys.
You called it last time. You got 2 for 2, my friend.
Heads!
Woo! Me and John got it.
Hey.
Rigged. It's a one-sided coin. You fuck.
So that puts.
So it goes between First Avenger and Winter Soldier.
Yep. I mean, I'm just happy Winter Soldier's
Winter
dropping.
Soldier's going down.
Yep. This
Then
is number
5.
5.
Okay.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Just making sure.
And does that mean Spider-Man Homecoming is better than Guardians 2?
No,
Yes.
Guardians 2 is at number 6.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it does make it better.
Because right now we have Homecoming. No. Yeah, Homecoming, Winter Soldier, Guardians 2, Doctor Strange. Because we had Guardians 2 between Avengers and Age of Ultron.
This is getting weird. All right, let's jump to Thor Ragnarok. Oh, God. Never
as long
mind.
as it goes above Winter Soldier.
You assholes.
It's close. I mean, I rated it close to Guardians in the same boat as Guardians 2, but I think I'm not going to win that vote, so I think it goes right underneath Guardians 2.
Right under Guardians 2?
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
I'm okay with that too.
Which is above Age of Ultron, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. All right, cool.
Good job, guys.
We'll take it. Mm-hmm. All right, and we got to end with Black Panther, which is probably the trickiest one to do right now, considering we've only seen it once.
It is.
I'd say it's above or below Guardians 2.
I think I like Guardians 2 better than Black Panther.
I do too.
And personally, I liked.
The Ragnarok more.
So
Yeah.
would it go right now we have Avengers, Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok. Would it go above Guardians 2 but below Avengers, or do you like Avengers more?
I like Avengers more.
I think I do too.
So it should go Avengers, Black Panther, Guardians 2.
I almost like Age of Ultron better.
Really?
I gave it a 3.5 on Ultron, and I gave Black Panther a 3.5. I think I would rather watch Age of Ultron again than Black Panther.
I'm honestly okay with putting Black Panther above Avengers, but I know that's not going to happen. So I'm okay with doing below Avengers, above Guardians 2.
That's tough. It's kind of what I was thinking. It's either above or below Guardians 2.
So Guardians 2, Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok?
If that's the way it has to be.
Yeah, I'd say below Guardians 2.
Okay. That works.
All right, so now we have the 6 movies in context, but Jake, can you read us the list starting from the bottom, from worst to best?
All right. We all know what the bottom is.
Hulk.
Hulk.
Easy.
Incredible Hulk, number 18. 17, Thor the Dark World. 16, Ant-Man. 15, Iron Man 3. 14, Iron Man 2. 13, Thor. 12, Doctor Strange. 11, Avengers Age of Ultron. 10, Thor Ragnarok. 9, Black Panther. 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 7, The Avengers. 6, Captain America Winter Soldier. 5, Spider-Man Homecoming. 4, Captain America the First Avenger. Number 3, Captain America Civil War. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 1, Guardians of the motherfucking Galaxy.
I love it.
Of course you do.
All right, before we end our Marvel segment here, we're going to be talking about what we want for Infinity War. We're all seeing this day 1, Thursday of next week.
From this recording, 6 days.
Yeah, the hype
6
train,
days.
The hype train is insane for
Yeah.
this movie.
Okay, I think we should bet on who we think dies, and I think we should bet on what the box office is going to be.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
That's what we
And
usually do.
yeah, we can talk about anything else, but those are the 2 things that I want to like put something down on.
Yeah, I want, for this movie, I want a good balance of the teams that we know are going to be at play here.
Yeah,
I want there actually to be a war. Like, they showed some fights. There better be a good fleshed out war here, because that's the title.
well, it's the Russo brothers. I think they're going to do both of those.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean they proved it with Civil War for me. So,
And then, not to go into the death scenes, but I want Thanos to kick ass.
and I think he will.
I want him to put the Avengers in place.
Yep.
That's what I want from this movie.
I think the death will come quick, and I think it'll be like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
I expect that everything we've seen so far has probably been the middle to the beginning of the movie. I bet they're trying to save a lot from being spoiled or speculated.
I say that too.
I have no idea what's going to happen, and I love it. I fucking love it. I know like the 3 main places that they're going to fight, and that's enough for me. I don't need to know anything else.
The quotes we've gotten from Thanos so far have been huge, just hype train builders. Mm-hmm. One being like,
Easy.
it's not a spoiler.
I fingered
What
my
is
ears.
it?
Thanos says, no one should have this much fun balancing the universe, but this does put a smile on my face. I love that line.
I do too.
That just sounds like he's some kind of mad guy who's going to destroy the world, which that's his goal,
Yeah.
to dominate. I love the trailer where he just smacks Iron Man to the ground.
Yeah.
I hope we get I want that fleshed out with everybody.
I want to talk about things that are in the trailer, Brent. I want to talk about the
talk about
groups
things in
that have come across. Oh my god! Then why
do
are we
it.
even talking about this?
Let's jump to your things that you want to bet on.
Okay, let's talk about deaths first,
Okay.
because I have one that I am like 100% positive is going to happen. Like I see it in my head right now, and it's one that I haven't heard anybody else talk about.
Okay.
I think 100% that Loki's going to die. Loki's gonna hand over the Tesseract, and he's such
gonna
a
kill him with it.
he's such a slimy fuck. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't give this to you the first time. Here it is, sir." And Thanos is gonna take it, fucking kill the fuck out of Loki.
He's gonna give it back to him and kill him. You're
I
right.
think that's a given. And without spoiling anything else, if I had to guess one other person, like that's my main 100%. One more, I think Cap's gonna die.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Who else?
I don't think Cap dies in this movie.
Okay.
I don't know if he dies in this movie either, but I kind of feel like Thor has got to be done. We got his trilogy wrapped up. There's not much else for him to do.
Yeah, his fucking home planet's dead.
Yeah, I don't think they need to rebuild Asgard for any plot device going forward. I think he dies at some point. And from a business perspective, like you kind of got what you got out of Thor. Chris Hemsworth is.
I think so too.
What, has he been in 7 movies, Thor?
I think so. His contract's
Something
done.
like that. I know Iron Man has been in 7. I know Cap has been in 7. I don't know if Thor's been in 7 or not.
Yeah, I could see him dying.
Yeah.
It better not be Iron Man. Iron Man for me now
that's
at this point is like Daryl in Walking Dead, even though that show's garbage. But he's kind of like that protected
That's
character
the big
for me.
death at the end of this movie is Iron Man. Everyone thinks it's going to be Captain America.
That would destroy me.
Iron Man.
But everybody's creaming their jeans about Avengers Infinity War. There's another Avengers coming out next year.
Yep.
Like, what do they fucking do if they kill everybody in this one? That's why I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I
Not
think
everyone, but you have to think about like Ant-Man has a movie coming out here soon.
Yeah, but it's a prequel. It takes place before Infinity War.
They've already talked about the next Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's safe.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is 1,000% safe.
yeah, I think
What?
I think Iron Man is gonna. I think he's gonna
It's
die.
going to be Iron Man.
So between Cap and Iron Man, you think Iron Man will die?
You know
Yes.
how bad that'd be if they killed both of them in this movie?
I could totally see it.
Oh,
honestly.
man, no.
Thanos is bad. Like this is I haven't got my chance to talk yet, but Thanos is my favorite villain and he is just nothing but bad and that's all I want from this movie is to build up. We don't get some redemption like he'll turn around and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'll be good," or they kill him. No, he has another fucking movie to prove that how bad he is and he's going to prove it by wiping a lot of faces off this movie
But that's
franchise.
the thing. Does he? Like, we don't know if Thanos is in Avengers 4 or not.
He
I think
has to
he.
be.
Yeah, I think he does.
has to be.
I think this one is him collecting the stones, and I think the next one is
I can't-
up a new plot with them going after
So
him.
it's
Like-
gonna-
I can't wait for him to fucking rip out Vision's stone from his head to kill him. Vision's just kind of a piece of shit, and it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I just want to see him dead and
See-
see him just rip the.
I don't think Vision's gonna die. I think he's gonna become mortal. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because like that would be somewhere to go with him, but I think it's too early to kill off a new character like that.
I think, as far as plot devices go, either he gets all the stones in this movie or he gets half of them.
He has to get. That's how they're going to end this movie is him with all the stones in his gauntlet.
Maybe.
Well, that would be a shitty ass cliffhanger ending. I would hate that.
Maybe it's all but one.
That's what movies do these days. Every major
Show
series has
you
had
everything, and then
have a
he's
year-
ready to go. Fight.
a year
Yeah,
later.
the worst Harry Potter is Deathly Hallows Part 1 because it ends so shitty and it's just like a 2-hour journey in a fucking forest.
Or the second set of Lord of the Rings movies where it's the Desolation of Smog and you don't even see the fucking Desolation of Smog.
Well, that
Yep.
the Russo brothers have gone on to say ever since they started forming the Infinity War movie that the hype has gotten so much, that story they wanted to tell was so big that they're considering Avengers 4 its own separate story.
Yeah, exactly.
/movie.
Avengers 3 and Avengers 4 are 2 separate movies. Like they're 2 separate storylines.
But it's not crazy enough to believe that they can pull off another Thanos story in a whole different
That's
movie.
true.
From what the Russo brothers have said about Infinity War, it's that it's kind of like they said Ant-Man was a heist film, but this is just Thanos taking what he wants.
Good.
This is what I want.
It sounds awesome, and I can't wait to see how the fuck he does it. I just don't know where they go after this. I don't even know where they go here. I'm excited to fucking jump in balls first and just see where they go.
I got a gut feeling that a lot of this movie is going to take place on Earth. Then Avengers 4 it ends and Avengers 4 goes into space.
I don't think so. I think from what we've seen prior, they go all over the board. From what we've seen in trailers, they go all over the place.
I feel like they go to space in the next movie.
Because if there's 3 separate teams, they can't just do everything on Earth. 2 out of the 3 teams are not on Earth.
Right. You know, another easy death that they could get away with, and John, you're not gonna like this, is Doctor Strange.
No, I bet he gets a full trilogy.
Yeah, I bet they don't kill him.
Really?
I want him to die, but I don't think they kill him. I bet they kill everybody around him. Like, I bet BD Wong is dead, or Benedict Wong is dead.
Benedict Wong.
Yeah, not BD Wong. Sorry, not Jurassic World guy. Yeah.
I think honestly, this movie is going to take place all on Earth, and maybe the Guardians and Thor have their own little storyline in space leading up to something like meeting up on Earth. But I think if the Avengers 4 takes us elsewhere.
Are there equal amounts Infinity Stones in space and on Earth?
Well,
there's 6
we know,
altogether.
we know Thanos walks in with the 2 from the Collector.
Yep.
And
So the
that's in
red
space.
one, and the what else does?
Oh,
the
so Collector's
have?
dead.
There's one on Xandar.
We don't know if the Collector's dead, but we assume that Thanos
I'm
destroyed
assuming
him.
the Collector's dead. Yeah.
Vision's got one. There's one on Xandar.
Okay,
still-
but Vision's on Earth, number 1.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Vision's on Earth, Collectors are on space, and he has 2. So what else is on Earth? I guess the time...
Well,
Depends on where Loki's at.
no, it depends on where Black Panther's Wakanda is.
That's on Earth, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 But there's one stone that hasn't actually been mentioned at all yet. That's one we're waiting to see what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's the one. If we don't know where it
Wakanda.
is, but I'm guessing it's Wakanda. Yeah.
It's Wakanda's like main
I'm
energy core.
I'm guessing that's why they fight there. But yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, we need to keep for the sake of time. We got to put our bets in on what this movie's going to pull in opening weekend.
I'm not starting this time. Somebody else is.
210 million.
210.
Yep.
Okay.
110 million.
That's pretty hefty.
Yep. But I usually shortchange this, and I'm always sad about it.
Yeah.
So
Is
I'm
this-
going all in.
Is this without going over again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll go 225.
You bitch.
I have a number in my head and nobody said it yet.
Okay, so it's getting really nice. And
It's getting really nice.
outside
weather.
weather-wise.
Oh, okay.
Like, and there's been crap for movies for the last, 3 months.
Yeah, this movie's going to kick
Hey, Rampage?
ass.
Quiet Place?
Truth or
it.
Dare?
Yeah, these are all nothing hit and miss
Well,
movies.
yeah, taking effect of that Fandango, how much, if you could do the math between how much the original MCU movies pre-sold, 7 movies pre-sold, it's going to be up there.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And you know,
I'm
if-
gonna guess
Disney has that rule now about asking theaters to put that number of showings in your theater.
Yep,
for a month plus.
233.
Okay.
What did I guess?
You said
225.
225.
Okay.
I am 245.
Wow.
I think it's going to be really close to what
250.
Star Wars Force Awakens did, which was 253. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be really close. I don't think it's going to pass it, but it's going to get really fucking close. Black Panther opened up to 202, right? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
So, sky's the limit for this fucking thing. Like, all of us might be under right now.
that's true.
I could see this opening up 250 plus.
For sure.
I thought one of you would pick 250, so.
I
toyed with
really
going
have
high,
no
but-
idea.
Yeah, I'm okay with my 245. I think it's going to do gangbusters.
Yeah. Which, if that's the case, it's a good thing.
44.
It's a good thing we got our tickets for day one. So we'll
That's
see how
right.
that plays out.
We're doing this bet for your Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Nope.
That's the
Damn.
trophy.
No,
That-
yeah.
yeah.
it's my trophy. I
You
win no
get
matter
to
what.
Finger it if you win.
No, it's our trophy.
Oh, okay.
Everybody get up! It's the Hollywood Squares!
All right, that being said, let's jump into the last portion of our show, and that's going to be Brent is back in the trivia seat. Brent, what do you got for us tonight?
Some questions. Get out of here.
All right, guys, we're done. It's been a great show. Thank you for coming.
That was it. All right, so I've got some Marvel-based trivia questions.
Ooh.
We just
Multiple
watched
choice.
all the movies. We're going to get all of them right.
Maybe.
Let's do it.
Question
Are we all
numero-
together? Or?
Yeah. Yep. Collaborative.
How many questions?
A set certain amount of numbers of things.
Great.
I don't know how many there are.
50 questions.
50 questions.
Let's do it.
Question number 1. After which 80s TV star did Star-Lord name his ship?
The Milano. Alyssa Milano.
Yep.
Correct.
Alyssa Milano.
I knew you were going to be hot when you were 9.
Anyway,
Right.
The fuck is that from?
some show. I don't remember. Family
Family Guy.
Okay, yeah.
Of course it's Family Guy.
Name the actress who plays Maria Hill.
Colby Smulders.
Correct.
Yep. Or Robin Schabotsky.
I was going to say Toby Smoggers. Damn it.
Name the spaceport built in the severed head of the giant celestial being.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yep.
Correct.
3 for 3.
Name the character who developed the super soldier serum in Captain America. Was it A, Dr.
Oh, there was multiple questions the entire time.
Yeah. Dr. Johann Schmidt, Dr. Eli Wiesel, Dr. Arnim Zola, or Dr. Abraham Enskin?
I think it was C.
I think so too.
I thought it was A. But you guys, no, Schmidt, who was,
Schmidt's the bad guy.
okay, so that's
Yeah.
not it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's C.
Incorrect. It was Abraham Ernstine.
Of the
Now we
last
were
one.
both wrong.
Oh, Stanley Tucci.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, because Zola was the bad guy in Civil War.
Oh, I don't remember. 3 for 1.
Who said the following quote? You are deluded, Captain. You pretend to be a simple soldier, but in reality, you are just afraid to admit that we have left humanity behind. Was it
That sounds familiar.
Bruce Banner? Was it Tony Stark? Was he Bucky Barnes? Or was it Red Skull?
I thought that was a Tony Stark line.
I was going to say Tony Stark.
I was too.
Okay. B, Tony Stark.
Incorrect. It was Red Skull.
Fuck.
And that's one of my other
We're
favorites.
3 for 5.
Great.
In the Avengers, what SHIELD agent does Black Widow say first brought her into the fold? Was it Agent Coulson, Peggy Carter, Nick Fury, or Hawkeye?
I'm guessing it's either eye patch or
Nick Fury.
no eye patch, eye patch or bow and arrow. One of those two.
I'll go Hawkeye. Yeah, that's their connection in the first one. All right, I'm okay with it.
Going Hawkeye?
That's what we're doing.
Good judgment. It is Hawkeye. She does say that in Winter Soldier. Well done.
4 for 6.
Who said the following quote? You made my men, some of the most highly trained professionals in the world, look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops.
That sounds familiar.
Was it Tony Stark? Was it Nick Fury? Was it Agent Coulson? Or was it Justin Hammer?
Agent Coulson. Or it could be the guy from Iron Man 2.
Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
That's who I think it is.
Okay, I'm okay with that. We'll go Justin Hammer. Are you okay with that, John?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
It was Agent Coulson.
Damn it. So we're 4 for 7.
Fuck.
4 out of 7.
Who said the following quote?
Stop with these quotes.
Well, now I'm standing. Happy? We're all standing. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
Well, that's Rocket.
Rocket.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
5 for 8.
Sam Rockwell plays Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2, but what role was he originally angling for in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Was it Tony Stark?
Let's hear the.
Was it Bruce Banner, Loki, Nick Fury, or Tony Stark?
It's Loki. He was originally going for Loki. I think I remember reading something about
You're 1,000%
this.
positive, so I will go with you and Loki.
I think it's Loki.
Okay.
John.
I'm okay with that.
It was Tony Stark.
Son of a bitch, Anthony.
Sorry.
We're what, 5 for 9 now?
Oh, God.
Ugh. What song does Baby Groot dance to at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy?
I want you back.
Ooh, baby! By who?
Jackson 5.
Correct.
Come on, bud.
Yeah.
Come on.
6 for 10, I think.
Who ends up with the ether after the events of Thor: The Dark World?
The Collector.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Nice.
What was the name of a group of soldiers who fought alongside Captain America in World War II?
Oh, God.
Was it the Scowling Scoundrels, the Iron Patriots, the Howling Commandos?
That's it.
Alien Commandos.
Howling Commandos is correct.
What are we going to here?
Who played Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy? Was it Kat Dennings?
No.
Karen Gillian?
Yes.
Zoe Deschanel?
Wow.
Zaldana?
Zoe Deschanel?
No. G.B. Alexander.
The second one, B.
Karen Gillian, correct. Who quoted the following quote?
Going to 20 here?
Close, yeah. Who said the following quote? Until such time as the world ends, we will act as though it intends to spin on.
Nick Fury.
Okay. What are the
Alexander Pierce, Tony Stark, Nick Fury, and Black Widow.
Nick Fury.
All right.
Correct. It is Nick Fury. In which Marvel movie did Samuel L. Jackson first appear as Nick Fury?
Iron Man.
Correct. What alien race appears in Guardian of the Galaxy? What's the bad guy's name?
Ronan.
Ronan's fleet. What is his army called?
Give us the multiple choice.
The Shatari,
Nope.
the Kree,
Kree's
the
Avengers.
Xandarians, or the Sakarns?
The Kree.
I think it's the Kree. It's the Kree.
All right, that's Kree.
Yeah, the Kree.
Ronan is Kree, but his army are called the Sakarns.
You bitch.
You didn't say this a car.
Yeah, but I knew you were wrong.
What classic
You think
video
that's a
game?
victory?
What classic video game does Tony Stark catch someone playing on the Shield helicarrier
Galaga.
in the Avengers?
Galaga.
It is Galaga. Which of these characters did not wear an Iron Man suit in Iron Man 3? Was it Rhodey, Pepper Potts, President Ellis, or Happy Hogan?
Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan was bombed.
Correct. And our final question. What is Star-Lord's mother's name? Is it Star Queen, Jane Quill, Joan Quill, or Meredith Quill?
Joan Quill. I'm almost
That was Meredith.
80% positive that it's Joan
I
Quill.
just watched Guardians 2.
Yeah, we all did.
That's right. Yeah, we all did.
My sweet Jane. I feel like he
Joan.
says, no, one of them was Jane though, right?
Jane Quill, Meredith Quill, Joan Quill, or Star
I
Queen?
could have swore Ego said my sweet Jane.
Star Queen.
Yep, that's
Star
it.
Queen.
Yep, that's it.
All right, I'll go with Joan. I'm okay.
Fuck it, Joan.
Incorrect. It was Meredith.
Yeah.
Oh!
Damn
Damn
it.
it, you suck.
I got one of them right. The ones that I fought for.
You fight for everything.
I know.
So what's that put us at, Brent?
Okay, so I'm going through them.
13.
Out of 19.
Yikes.
Hurry, Anthony. What's that percentage? I was gonna say like 68.
That's my calculator noise.
Do my calculations here. Ding, 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 ding.
68%.
Hey!
That's a D.
Yikes.
Solid D plus.
D plus.
Always take the pluses.
Yeah, I'll take a D plus.
All right, that being said, that has been the conclusion to our Road to Infinity War Phase 3 miniseries. We hope you stick through all episodes with us. It has been a hell of a run watching all these movies again.
Get fucking pumped for Infinity War. I know all of us are. I'm pretty sure the whole world is.
I'm stoked.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be hot off the press coming off that movie for our podcast review. But till then, you can find us on all kinds of social media. The first one being Facebook, SU Media All-Stars. You can find us on Twitter at SmashPod. You can find us on Instagram, SU Media All-Stars.
You can find me on Instagram at SteelbookObsessed. I'm still very close to 1,000 and still haven't reached it, and it's still making me very upset. But I'm very close. And I know we didn't talk about movie reviews today, but I know a lot of us here have Letterboxd accounts. I guess just John and I do.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Letterboxd to hear my movie reviews at Steelbook.
Yep, you can find me at SideJohn on Letterboxd. I'll be hopefully getting my Infinity War post before the podcast, but we'll see.
Yep.
Listen to us on Apple Podcast services. You can listen to us on Google Play, and listen to us on TuneIn Radio as well. And as always, check out our YouTube page. We got some unboxings we posted up there. You'll hear all our podcasts on there as well. Stay tuned for our God of War opening. That'll be a great one coming up.
Yeah, there's a ton of shit in that box.
That was a huge collector's edition.
It just kept on coming.
It did. It was a big box with a lot of cool stuff in it. So
Very
look forward
cool.
to that. But till then, guys, I thank you for joining me. Audience, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Spider-Man.
But this does put a smile on my face.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye-bye.
I am out of here.